All right. Hello, class. Most of what I'm about to talk to you about is a review from what we talked in the classroom, but I want to make sure that we have a chance to go back over this because, again, we're trying to get this into muscle memory. Here's our bamboo brush. Please remember we do not hold the brush this way like a pencil. Keep the brush out on the tip of your fingers. You want it to be out here to where you can spin it between your index finger and thumb to where you can move the brush up and down like a piston, and where you'll still have lots of free movement with your wrist and hand. Also, please remember we hold the brush straight up and down from the paper. We don't lean it back in our hands. That is going to limit the amount of movement our brush is capable of doing. We keep our brush perpendicular to the page, pointing straight up, and pinched at the ends of our fingers to give us loads of movement. Now also remember, you need to keep the brush sharp. So in addition to moistening the brush, after you load the brush with paint, make sure that you sharpen the brush by dragging the brush on the sides of your palette to make sure you get a nice sharp point. Now, for the warm-up, we'll be doing our usual warm-up. We'll start off with the string of diamonds. If we remember, we start the line with just one hair of the brush touching. We add pressure to about a third of the bristles of the brush bend, but not the whole brush. Then we lift up to only one hair is touching. Too much coffee this morning. I'm shaking like a leaf. Press, lift, press, lift. So the gesture is a straight line, but I'm varying the pressure to create a row of diamond-shaped marks with the brush. You really should only need to do this once at this point, but if you need to do it more than once to kind of get the feel, then by all means do. You want your hand to be all warmed up before you start painting. After the row of diamonds comes the row of bamboo leaves, which again, that is the diamond move. You start light with one hair, add pressure, and then lift up, and that gives you one bamboo leaf. Alternate directions, light, heavy, light, light, heavy, light. One hair, press down to a third, lift up. One hair, press down to a third, lift up. One hair, press down to a third, lift up. And work your way down the page until you've got 2 rows of bamboo leaves. The next one is going to work our ability to spin the brush between our fingers. That is to rotate the brush here to get rounder marks. Now, the first most basic mark, of course, is the polka dot, where you just spin the brush between your fingers. Oh yeah, I definitely needed to warm up here. I'm a little stiff this morning. So I'm going to go a little lighter. Notice I'm not pressing down the brush completely. I'm not smashing the brush down. I'm just using the tip. From there, let's go to the comma, where I start with a spin between my fingers. See, I'm twisting my fingers around, and then when I get back to the top of the dot, I pull off a long tail. So I move from a spin to a pull to create a comma. Now, this comma shape is eventually going to turn into something else, which we'll look at again when we come back to the dragon. But I want to get used to that spin and long pull. Spin and long pull. So get a row of these, get your fingers all warmed up and ready to go for our first painting.